Today. I'm so excited. Good morning and welcome back to another vlog. It is March, but it currently feels like spring. So you guys already know we are taking full advantage. So I decided that we were going to take today to do all of the fun spring things and just have ourselves a nice, chill self-care day. I'm not the kind of person that wants to rush seasons. I preach making the most of the moment that you are in and seeing the beauty in every single season, literally and figuratively, because everything has beauty in it. But that's not to say that we can't still look forward to something and still appreciate something when it comes. We have blue skies, we have some sun. It's a little bit cloudier today than it was yesterday, but I'm not gonna complain. I think I might actually take this outside and sit outside for a couple minutes because it's too beautiful not to. I always try to do calm, relaxing, aesthetic vlogs, and then we get these two, and I'm reminded that I'm really not that calm, relaxed, and aesthetic. Grabbing these to take outside for a few minutes. I just want to touch on this briefly because I was doing my reading this morning and something kind of stood out to me that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm not very good at actually sticking to a specific book or passage and working my way through that way. I typically kind of just jump around, which probably isn't the best, but I was reading through Matthew 14 today, specifically when Jesus walks on water. If you guys are familiar with this story, you know, directly before this passage, Jesus fed the 5,000, where basically he provided a ton of food out of nothing, essentially, right? It's the Bible story where they had 5 loaves and 2 fish, and Jesus multiplied that by so much. And the disciples witnessed that. Fast forward, they're on a boat. Jesus is walking on water. They think it's a ghost. They call out. Jesus is like, nope, geez, bear. Sorry. Still has her stick and she just hit my tripod. But Jesus calls out and was pretty much just like, nope, it's just me. And Peter is like, well, if it is you, then command me to come to you and walk on water. Long story short, he does. However, he sees the wind and the waves and he takes his eyes off of Jesus, panics, and starts to sink. As he's sinking, he's crying out to Jesus to save him, to help him, and of course, Jesus does. I've heard the story hundreds of times. You know, I grew up in a Christian household, I grew up in church. This is nothing new. But reading through it this time, it kind of just hit me a little bit differently than what it has in the past. Because being completely transparent, I've been going through a lot of stuff the last 2 years, you know, like most people do. And going through struggles and challenges kind of reminds you of a lot and definitely makes you grow and learn things. And it was very much a reminder that I haven't had my eyes on Jesus, but yet he is still there reaching out his hand, waiting for me to grab onto it. I made a note in my Bible that says the difference between fear and faith is focus. My dad used to always say when I was a kid, what you focus on, you become. It's actually tattooed on my back now. It meant so much to me. If your eyes are on Jesus, that's the path you're going to go, but if your eyes are on the waves, you're going to sink. So this was definitely very brief, but it was something that stood out to me that I felt I should share with you guys because I know I'm not the only one going through struggles right now. I'm going to take a few minutes to journal. This was one of my 2026 goals, was to start journaling more. My goal is to actually fill up this entire journal by the end of the year. We'll see if it happens. I've always loved writing and poetry, and just getting that creative side to come back out of me after having gone away for so many years has been a lot of fun, very rewarding, but also has been teaching me a lot about myself. I know this will be nice to look back on years down the road. We'll take a few minutes to journal and then we'll move on with our morning. This bowl is the match to my mug that I used this morning. Using a fun bowl or making your food look pretty is such a simple thing, but I truly feel like it makes such a huge difference in just appreciating little things. Before, I would have just cut my strawberries up right in the yogurt container and then just ate straight out of that. But doing this when I have the time to definitely forces me to slow down a little bit, which is always appreciated.
The air's still cold, but the sunlight feels soft on my skin. And I catch myself drifting, thinking about you again. Every color around me looks brighter when your name crosses my mind. I walk slow just to feel this warm pull inside my chest. Feels like the world finally matches what I've been wishing for. Like everything I hope for is quietly coming true through you. You rid me so easily, even when I say nothing, and I feel safe in the way you just know me. I'm happy in spring because you make life seem lighter. Every moment with you stretches out in the sweetest way.
I just came in from being outside in the sun for a little while. I just took a full shower. I feel so fresh and clean. The feeling after being on the sun all day, coming in and showering and then getting ready, just top tier. Nothing beats it. The girls seem like they are pooped. They have been running so hard today, which is honestly kind of nice because they're just laying and sleeping right now, which is not a common happening. I keep thinking about how today's probably the last day of nicer weather like this for a little while, since we don't typically see this in March. I live in Pennsylvania, so typically it's still a lot of cold weather and some snow and ice, and I keep finding myself getting really upset that it's going to be going away, but I have to keep reminding myself that I'm just so thankful that we had it. I'm going to practice what I preach and make the most of today and continue making the most of every single day after, even if it's not ideal, and especially if it's not ideal. I'm very glad I could be home and just work from home today. For anybody that's new, I work part-time at a jewelry store, and I just launched my own wedding and event planning business, so I'm doing that on the side as well as attempting to do part-time content creation. So kind of a lot happening, and my schedule never looks the same, but I kind of love that, if I'm being honest. This is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but I just have to talk about Uni really quick. This is their 24-hour serum, and this is their golden, I'm gonna absolutely butcher this, microalgae body oil, I think is how you say that. I put these together and then put it on my body as a lotion after I got out of the shower, and I feel so nice and clean. Again, not sponsored, I just really love these products. I have a little bit more work to knock out this afternoon, so I think I'm gonna go sit and do that for the next hour or so before making dinner. Do you have your brick? Is that your brick? Guys, I can't with this dog. That's a brick. She's very proud of it. This is going to come as a shock, but I ended up back outside. Unfortunately, the clouds are coming in, so no more sunshine, but it's still nice and warm out, so I will take it. We are getting started on dinner. I have some leftover ground beef, so we're going to warm that up as our protein, but I think I'm going to also do sweet potatoes and broccoli on the side as well. prefer to peel my sweet potatoes because I don't love the skin, but peeling anything freaks me out because I'm always so afraid to like skin my finger. Slow and steady. Wow. This feels safe. Now that we're getting into spring, we have been making some big plans for our backyard. I'm not sure if it'll all happen this year or if it will be kind of a continuous thing over the years or if I'll just hold off till next year. But either way, I want to do some flower beds and some garden, like raised garden beds for some veggies, possibly even some fruit, because I've been wanting to start a garden for a few years now and I got really serious about it last year. Started planning my dream garden and I think I have it all mapped out. I just don't want to bite off more than I can chew because the garden that I want is massive and I've never gardened before, so I'm a little bit nervous as to how that would go. But I do feel with the garden, just like anything else, you never know unless you try and you learn as you go. I'm not walking into this expecting to know it all by any means, and I know I won't, and I know it's going to take a lot of learning, which is why I want to do it. Pushing myself out of my comfort zone and trying new things is really exciting for me, and I think it's really important for everyone.
I breathe deeper when you're near, as if time slows down for us, as if we were in a field of yellow flowers. I'm learning your touch, your scent, every little detail. You make the ordinary seem to finally have its place, and I am yours, completely awake in this tranquil bloom. With you, my spring is more